Okay.
Ow.
Good morning, Bob. First one in. Don't show your butt to the camera. That's rude. You wouldn't like it if I showed my butt to your friends. Let's get him out of the way here so we can see the village a little better in the background there.
Wow.
Because you all really just came to see him, right? My buddy. Yes, it is. We could get the brush out, couldn't we? I guess the word butt triggers YouTube censors. Never know what's going to set off YouTube. Yeah, I always try and throw in some sort of weird comment for the people that are just coming in at that second. Good morning, Scott. Hi, Laura. Hi, Connie. There we go. Starting to get a few comments in here now. I was thinking I was going to have to be talking to myself, and that was going to be a really boring live stream. Good morning, Pamela. And Bite's here too. He's doing his thing. Just chilling out with a brush. Right? Bite likes the brush. Well, boggling the mind is sort of what this is all about. You ready for a belly rub this early in the live stream, Bite? Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Get the camera tipped right here. Oh. I am thinking about doing some sort of a Christmas recipe, but I haven't figured out what it's going to be yet. I saw well, I was digging through some old recipes that I got from my mom, and one of them was for Swedish meatballs. So it might be that. Just put a Santa hat on the crystal skull. Yeah, maybe. That would seem kind of weird. Morning, Susan. Hey, Black Dot. You are being incredibly tolerant of this today. Okay, that's enough. There's enough fur flying now. We've accomplished our goal. You like the Christmas light trip? Christmas lights trip? Yeah, I always love going around and checking out houses around Christmas. So you'll notice that every year for Christmas I've done something like that, and it'll probably continue. There's only so many of the neighborhoods where the whole neighborhood does something, but there's still houses that do some really cool things. So I've been thinking of maybe taking a trip over to Castle Heights. You may recall I did a historic houses tour last summer of Castle Heights, and I bet you some of those houses do some pretty extraordinary things for Christmas. So we may visit those at some point too. Try and get some Christmassy vlogs going now here. I mean, I've been doing that. That's sort of been the issue, the topic for the past 2 weeks or so. So yeah, those houses, especially I really like the second and third house better. I think, like I said in the video, I think the first house, you get too much stuff packed in there, and it just kind of starts looking tacky. And that was tacky. Uh, you got to can't find a comfortable balance between filling the space and still making it look good, because it is possible to overdo it. But that was one family's way of doing things. I guess they've been doing it for years. Like I said, I saw it on the Facebook page. They were acknowledging it. That had been going on for years, and so I said, okay, I'm going to go look at it. A little much, I think. Yeah, I'm hoping some of those houses do some really cool things. No, no, the cats are not interested in the tree. That's a good thing. The only issue I've been having is the little skirt that goes around the bottom of it. Light likes to sleep on the skirt, and he tends to pull the skirt off of the tree. And so I'll come home one day, and the skirt will be pulled out. But other than that, they don't seem to be interested in the tree at all. So that's a good thing. Yeah, those homemade globes are pretty cool. I'm gonna have to try that at some point. See if I can make that work. Somebody commented on the video that I did of that there's all sorts of videos on YouTube on that. But you know what? Just looking at the finished thing, it looked like it was pretty easy to figure out. So, like I said, I'll probably just play around with it and I'll come up with something. It'll look cool, I think. Well, I guess I sort of understand how Bite might be, think that the skirt is something for him to sleep on, because, he's got all sorts of like little soft, fluffy things in his room that are made for him, just to take his naps on and stuff like that. So that it doesn't really surprise me that he found that and says, oh, that's what that's for. That's for me to be sleeping on. Because there's also a carpet in front of the front door here, and he tends to take naps on that too. Yeah, I don't know. I did Christmas cookies a year or two ago. You had snow this morning. That's cool. Did they find the train set? No, no. Well, I mean, I don't know if they're even aware of it, but they've never gone anywhere near the table. So, you know, I didn't really expect that that was going to be an issue. Plus, they're 15 years old. That thing's like 3.5 feet off the ground. I don't think they're gonna be able to get up on top of that. What do you get when you cross a vampire with a snowman? Frostbite. That's probably true. Yeah, no, it doesn't really surprise me that they're not interested in the tree or in the train. Maybe when they were kittens, but like I said, they're 15 years old now. Cats are in remarkable shape. Yeah, if round is a remarkable shape, because they are definitely round. Okay, let's turn things back around here. Pull to the edge of the TV tray so I can lean back and be comfortable. Had an earthquake in Mexico City this morning. Let's look that one up. Let's see. I am going to go there. Oh yeah, I see it. It looks like it was offshore quite a ways. All right, let me make sure I'm looking at the right thing here. Okay, no, I was looking at the wrong one. It's right on the shore. Let's see, what are they calling that? Magnitude 6, that's a decent sized earthquake. It looks like it was a couple hundred kilometers from Mexico City. It's right on the shore there, right? Let's get it framed up here so we can see everything. So yeah, let's see. That's Mexico City right there. There's the earthquake, 6.0 on the Richter scale, about a couple hundred kilometers away. Yeah, that's a nice earthquake. I much prefer talking about them from 2,000 miles away than I do than I enjoy experiencing them. I've been through enough big earthquakes in my life. They're no fun. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, it was way closer to Acapulco. You're right. Just a little kind of northwest of Acapulco. Acapulco. Ugh, I can't even talk today. Get the cord out of the way here. It's funny you use the word slight earthquake, but I guess from a couple hundred kilometers away, that is, it probably was more of a rolling earthquake than a jarring one. The earth shaking kind of tends to smooth out the further you get away from the epicenter. Your birthday was last week. Happy birthday. Whatever became of the replacement for the kitchen cabinets, that's on long-term hold at this point. I'm burned. I'm burned on that. It's going to be a while before we'll revisit that one. Had an earthquake earlier this week in Missouri, huh? Apparently there was a pretty good size one in like Western Texas. And apparently there were people that felt it here. And in fact, I think there was evidence of it being noticeable here, because you'll notice up on top of the cabinet, on top of my CD shelf here, I've got that thing. It's a Nirvana box set, and it's always standing up on end like that. But when I came home that day, it fell over. And so I wonder if the shaking knocked that thing over. I wasn't aware of it. I guess I was at work when it happened, but you know, we don't generally get earthquakes here. You know, there's some little ones that sometimes happen on the west side of the state, but that's hundreds of miles away. But they were saying just because of what's under the ground here, it's a lot of limestone, because all of Texas used to be at the bottom of a shallow sea. And so, you know, a lot of little like invertebrate creatures, you know, when they died, they all kind of settled to the bottom of the sea and basically turned into this limestone, which is underneath Texas now. Anytime you dig in any more than a few inches under the ground, you hit this limestone stuff. And apparently that limestone really transmitted the energy a long distance. Yeah, bites my buddy. Yeah, I always appreciate the thumbs up buttons. I don't like to ask though, it seems like pandering. Yeah, I'm narcissistic. Tell me how great I am. That wasn't an actual request. I knew I was going to regret going there. Greatness speaks for himself. Well, I'll let you know when I meet greatness. Thank you, Laura Lee. I hope you have a great Christmas too. Nibble becoming more antisocial. I just think she prefers to hang out in her room. I think she realizes that that you know, getting treats isn't, you know, she's seen what happens out here. Bite's a little bit more personable, and so he comes out. In fact, he's still out here. He's just over there right now, laying on the ground, grooming himself. Hi, Dana. How are you? Happy Christmas. Yeah, definitely keeping my chestnuts away from the open fire. No one wants roasted chestnuts. Yeah, I think, well, it's been my experience that male cats are usually a little bit more affectionate than female cats. I've had both, and it's been my experience. But that's just the way it is. And it might just be that she didn't get a whole lot of interaction with people when she was a baby. You know, her first few weeks of life, I think, were not that much fun for her. Both her and her brother were strays very, very early on. If I made a cheesecake, I haven't made a cheesecake. That might be an option. I don't know. We're going to look and see what our options are. I got some, kind of a general idea of what I'd like, of some of the things I'd like to do. I don't think the cats have seen Flash here, but they saw her plenty of times in California. I used to have like a screen door, a sliding screen door on the front door in the house in California. And so on really cool, nice days, I'd have that thing open and the cats would sleep on the carpet and stare out the window or stare out the screen. And Flash would often be out there. Yeah, well, we're paying attention to the weather, and if it gets too cold out, I bring Flash in. She's already been in the storm shelter a couple times this season, just because it got too cold. But right now it's like 50s and 60s, so that's not too bad. In fact, I went out last night about midnight for a little walk, and I brought a jacket. And by the halfway mark, I had to take the jacket off. I was too hot. That's the weird thing about Texas. It can be really hot one day and really cold the next day. Yeah, I like having Flash around. She's a very low maintenance pet. It's just, in California, there'd be days or even weeks where I wouldn't even see her. And then, it's like, oh yeah, that's right, I got a tortoise. And she just does what she does. She's out and about and eating during the day and finding some place to sleep at night. You think I should be giving Flash cabbage in the kitchen, huh? Yeah, I don't know. The issue is she seems to kind of pull into her shell if there's any movement around her. So if I were working in the kitchen, she'd just be hiding in her shell. And if I wasn't in the kitchen, she got up, she'd be wandering around the house. And what do the cats think of the fireplace? Well, they like the warmth, but they don't like it when the wood goes pop. I think they preferred the fireplace I had in the house in California. It was electric, so it was just a constant source of heat, and they'd always I'd put one of their beds right in front of it, and they'd go and when I was on, they'd go and hang out in front of it. Wood burning fireplaces are a little bit more unpredictable, a little bit more noisy. Hey, there's Jeff. Jeff has entered the building. Good morning, Tracy. How are you? It's a nice day today. Actually, it's all cloudy and overcast. We had some rain last night. Apparently, it only blew through for a few minutes, but it dropped almost 3/4 of an inch of rain. It's funny because I don't remember in the past getting this much rain in the winter. Rain was more of a summer thing here, but this was a weird year. We didn't get any rain this summer, so maybe we're making up for it now. Clear skies in Central Florida. It's often that way, isn't it? Yeah, Jeff posted an Amigo picture few days ago of him in a Santa hat. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, I still don't know what to make of that suit, Jeff. That suit's a little goofy. Yeah, there's the Amigo picture. Clear and cool in San Antonio. That's interesting. Yeah, it's all overcasty here. Yeah, Amigo's a good dog. Where's Bite? Bite's literally right behind the laptop right now. He's just kind of walking, doing orbits on the couch. You gonna come visit us, Bite? He just went over that side, so he's. Oh, now he just turned back. Now he's back over here. I think he heard his name. Or that suit is a joke. It's a gift from your sister. Wow. You're gonna come on up, Bite? They're talking about you. Come on, buddy. Come on up. There he comes. I knew we'd get him eventually. He'll usually come when he's called. I don't think I'd get Bite to keep a Santa hat on. Closest I think I'm going to get Bite to accepting a Santa hat is by calling this treat a Santa hat. Here's your Santa hat, Bite. But then again, he just eats it. Yeah, not bad for an artificial tree, huh? When it came out of the box, I thought, this doesn't look all that nice. But when I fluffed it up and got all the branches doing what they're supposed to, it turned out really nice. The only thing you run into with an artificial tree is it doesn't have the smell of a real tree. But you know what you don't end up with also with an artificial tree? Cat barf with pine needles in it. So maybe that is a good trade-off. Tip everything up here. Yeah, that was something I was thinking of when I was pulling out. Last time anybody handled that was him. Because that thing has been in that box for, I don't know, at least 10 years. At least 10 years. because it used to be hanging in it used to be in my garage in California. And I never got to the point where I pulled it out until this year. I'm glad I kept it. That would have definitely freed up a lot of space in the pods if I just didn't keep that. But I'm glad I did. Yeah, my dad built that box too. What my dad think of the community I've created here? I think he'd get a kick out of it because I know he was into that big time too. And like I said, this is the first time in many, many, many years I've done anything in the house. I always did something outside the house. I had stuff on the trees or out in the house and in the backyard and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm really happy with the house too, Tracy. It really is. It feels like my place now. It took a long time to get here. You realize that I've been in this place for 2.5 years now. Do you know that? That's insane. Yeah, yeah. Jordan sent me a text about that a couple days ago that he'd been, including that picture of him with Vicki Lawrence. Sometimes he'll do that. He'll just send me a random picture, and I'll look at it and I replied to him, "Is that Vicki Lawrence?" And he replied back, "Yep." Hey, Eric, just woke up. Uh, I like sleeping in on my days off too. Can't really do it on Sundays though because of live streams, but I'll definitely sleep in tomorrow and Tuesday because this is my short weekend this week. But it's really nice because of the Christmas holidays this year, Christmas and New Year's. Um, Next week is going to be my 4-day weekend. Then I get another 4-day weekend because Christmas Eve is a day off of work, and then after that I get a 5-day weekend. So that's going to be really cool. I'm gonna really try and bulk up on vlogs, get a little bit ahead of the game. Jeff's heading off to get some food here. Yeah, he always blows through here a little bit, and then off to lunch. We appreciate that he stops in and says hi. You have finals to take and then Christmas break. Okay. Yeah, I don't miss school at all. I don't miss finals. No fun at all. Merry Christmas, Jeff. I'm glad I inspired you to decorate your own place. That's awesome. Yeah, I did the front yard a couple weeks ago. I actually did it the Sunday after Thanksgiving because that was my first day off. I don't think I wasn't able to do it like on Thanksgiving Day, even though I was off that day because it was rainy that day. But I did it the Sunday after and then unveiled it that night. It really isn't that different from what I did last year. I got to get to the point where I start building on stuff. I like to add something every year, but I don't want to get to the point where it becomes tacky. I'll get to a point where I'll reach a certain critical mass, and if I put something new out, something else will have to come in. Yeah, Rhonda posted on Facebook that she had to work today. Apparently, she can't say no to her boss. And I know how that works. The second you come off as an easy mark, then the boss just comes to you first thing. That happened to me at Disneyland too. We could trade shifts around, and in the early days, I didn't get very many hours from the place, and so the way I got hours was by trading with other people. I get one, maybe 2 days a week, just naturally scheduled for me, and then 3 or 4 more just by trading, but with somebody else who wanted the day off. Finally got to the point where when I knew how to do everything, then I naturally got the maximum number of days every week. But for a while there, it didn't work that way. That's how it works sometimes, though. You like the Christmas lights video? Cool. Yeah, there'll be more of those this season. I don't think there's any more in the hopper yet, but yeah, I got some holiday recipes perhaps in mind. I'm kind of thinking about a couple things. Just have to wait and see, though. It's weird with me though because if I'm going to do a Christmas recipe, I got to post the video before Christmas, and in order to post it before Christmas, I need to shoot it like 2 weeks before. And at that point, it isn't Christmas food for me. It's something I'm going to eat in the 2 weeks before Christmas, but that's okay. I got a handful of Christmas movies that I kind of watch every year. I watched Christmas with the Corenses last night. I watched Christmas Vacation last weekend. Gonna have to watch Die Hard, of course. I know a lot of people don't agree, but Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Um, I have A Christmas Story. I watched that. Um, Ernest Saves Christmas. I usually get to that one during the season, and what's the other one? Scrooge. I like that one. That's a good movie. Kind of a modern remake of the Ebenezer Scrooge movie. Ebenezer Scrooge movie. And of course, I usually watch. There's a Twilight Zone episode I like to watch every year called Night of the Meek. I usually watch that one like on Christmas Eve. Live cooking show for Christmas? I don't know. I guess I have done uh, live cooking shows, but I don't know. I am planning on doing just a live stream on Christmas Day, so definitely can tune in for that if you'd like. Yeah, see, okay, somebody agrees. I mean, Die Hard's definitely a Christmas movie. It just isn't Christmas until Hans Gruber is fallen out of the Nakatomi building. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't know what you're missing. I gotta admit, I've never really thought that much about somebody trying to catch a rooster with their hands. Yeah, family's fine. I think last I heard from my mom, well, she sent me my Christmas presents, which I guess are supposed to arrive this week. So she told me to kind of watch out for those. They're supposed to be here Tuesday or Wednesday, I guess. I still got to get her Christmas present off. Probably do that this week. Just skip now A Wonderful Life for Die Hard. Yeah, maybe. I got to admit, I don't think I've ever seen It's a Wonderful Life. I was thinking actually about maybe doing a wild rice recipe. I got so much of it and I need to start using it. And I do love wild rice. And, I don't have to do it the old fashioned way. The way I used to do it was the way my uncle taught me how to do it. And his way was, you have to cook it for like 36 hours. And that was really what you had to do to get it to plump up and be all soft and moist like you needed to do. But I found that I can do it in the Instant Pot in 1 hour. And so that makes it way easier. They're going to remake Christmas Story. Oh man, why? I don't understand why the need to remake movies. This year, I just kind of guessed what it was that my mom wanted. A lot of times we just do like gift cards and stuff like that because it's hard to know what she wants or what she needs. But this year, I made that thing for her. And I said, you know what, it's time to do that, and I needed a little time to do I needed a project to do that day. So Oliver the Other Reindeer. I guess I haven't heard of that one. Yeah, well, anything worth doing is worth doing right. And 30, if it takes 36 hours, that's what it is, because you bring it up to a boil, you let it basically cool back down to room temperature, you strain off the water, you put new fresh water in there, you bring it up to a boil, you let it cool down to room temperature, and you repeat that process over and over and over for 36 hours, and you get perfect wild rice. Like I said, I could do it in an hour in the Instant Pot, so why wouldn't I, right? Yeah, that's what it really is, Susan. Is there's just no more creativity in Hollywood, and every time they remake something, it's just an admission that they don't have any better ideas. No, I agree. Why would you remake a Christmas Story? Why would you remake most movies? If it was a popular movie, then it's good already. Nap time for Baby William. Okay, you have a good Sunday too. So instead of buying each other gifts, you're going to replace the house. That's it. That'll be a good gift. Yeah, no, I don't do 90 seconds in the microwave for wild rice. This is oops, beating up my computer here. This is Minnesota imported Minnesota wild rice, so got to do it right. Hollywood signs haunted wouldn't surprise me. like a Christmas Carol, huh? Okay. Alistair Sim. I don't think I've seen that one. Let's see if there's any Christmas movies online. You're working with high school literature students. They're amazed to know that Hemingway and F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote early Hollywood scripts. I guess that doesn't surprise me. I didn't know that either. Yeah, I like a lot of the I like the Iron Man movies. I like um, Spider Man. You know, basically, I like all three of the Spider-Man character movies. The Tobey Maguire, the middle guy, I don't remember what his name is, and the new one, the Tom Holland one. I like some of the Avenger movies, but I'm kind of burned out on them at this point. There's too many of them. Yeah, I agree with you, Susan. A lot of movies today, it's all about the special effects, and the story gets lost. You like a Christmas Carol with George C. Scott? Okay, there you go. I don't think I've seen that one either. George C. Scott was a great actor, though. Back in his day, Miracle on 34th Street, yeah, or 34th Street, yeah. You're Weird Al fans, huh? Yeah, I like Weird Al. Weird Al is kind of quirky, funny. It was a TV movie. Okay, interesting. Found out that the Star Trek ship is made out of wood. That doesn't surprise me. I think a lot of the props that we think of are made out of wood. Wood or plastic. You staring at me again, Bite?
Meow. Meow.
Yeah, that usually works. I can usually peer pressure him to come visit. Yeah, I think you're right, Tracy. Very few times can I point to a remake that I think was better than the original. There are some, but just not that many. No, I think my dad was a little bit more into Vikings. I don't think my mom really watches football. She's more of a basketball fan. I think she's into the Spurs and I don't know. I don't remember what other team. I'm not really into it into basketball at all. So that's her thing, and that's totally cool. That's what she wants to do. And she sometimes, I guess, watches the Olympics when they're on. Tracy's checking out. Thanks for stopping in, Tracy. Good talking to you. Yeah, yeah, I like Christy Alley. She was great. I think the first time I was aware of her, she was a Vulcan in Star Trek Wrath of Khan. Yeah, in a Star Trek Wrath of Khan. Very attractive woman. Oh, there's a Twilight Zone Christmas movie. I know there's. I mentioned a Twilight Zone episode that I like that I try and watch every year called Night of the Meek. Yeah, and I don't remember. Yeah, that's just an episode. Yeah, yeah. Rest in peace, Christy McVie too. I don't listen to a whole lot of music right now. I mean, I got a pretty healthy CD collection, but honestly, most of the stuff I listen to right now, I just have digital copies of the stuff that I'm listening to, and not really listening to a whole lot of new things all that much. When I went to see Flaming Lips at Luck Ranch a couple months ago with Jordan, I got a copy of. I was really blown away by the opening band Particle Kid, and I picked up a copy of their CD, and that's pretty good. And I've been listening to that a little bit, but that's probably the first CD I bought in quite a while. Yeah, I gotta admit, I've never really been a Cheers fan. I've seen a few episodes of it, but it wasn't really anything that caught my attention that much. And it's funny because I went when I was, probably 20, 25 years ago, when I was traveling on business from time to time for trade shows, things like that. One of the places I went was Boston. And the turns out that the bar that the Cheers bar was based on is in Boston. And so I went there and, had a couple drinks and stuff like that with some friends. But yeah, I don't think I've really ever watched the show that much. Yeah, that's basically the story of Night of the Meek. It kind of got kicked off, cut off here a little bit, but yeah, it was a Santa who's kind of depressed and a drunk, and he wishes that he could be Santa for real. And after he gets so drunk one night playing Santa, he falls out of his chair. He gets fired, and walking around outside afterwards, he finds a bag that dishes out whatever he wants. And so he goes around giving away Christmas presents to everybody, giving them things that they needed, and and he does it all night until the bag is empty. And he gets arrested at one point because the boss of the department store that he used to work in thinks he stole all the stuff from there. But then they start pulling. The boss starts pulling stuff out of the bag, and it's trash and cans and bottles and stuff like that. And and then then the Santa guy puts his hand in it and pulls out a bottle of brandy or something like that, and they let him go. And then at the end of the night, he says, "Oh yeah, I wish I could do this every year." And at the end, uh, he's walking around and he finds a sleigh and an elf, and turns out he gets to do it every year. But it's a classic episode. It's just a really feel good episode, and I think it kind of encapsulates the Christmas spirit, and kind of it makes me feel Christmassy when I watch it. I picked up a DVD a number of years ago, and it was a collection of Twilight Zone episodes, and I was really happy to see that some of my favorites, including that one, were on it. The puppy wants to either hear the treat jar shaking. All right, just for you. Of course, Mike's sitting on the chair here, so that caught his attention too. That's my buddy. Treat jar is getting a little empty here. Let's see if he can get his head stuck in there. Yeah, he's still able to reach him, I guess. Having a hard time getting your big fat head in there, aren't you? Maybe if we're lucky, you get your head stuck in there. We can do the rest of the live stream trying to get you out. Okay, that's enough. You're fat enough as it is. He'll eat the whole jar, I guarantee you, if you give him a chance. And see, now the treats are gone. He has no more interest in us. Hello, Spike. Merry Christmas to you too. Yeah, it's very easy to get his head in. I don't know what'll happen though if he can't get his head back out. I can see him running around, panicking, trying to, running around trying to get away from it. It would probably be pretty funny. How do I have my DVD collection divided by genre or alphabetical order? Alphabetical order. I think he'd like a bed better that he could actually eat. Thanks, Spike. Yeah, I know my mom appreciates that and says and is saying Merry Christmas right back to you. I know she watches these on reruns, so she will probably see that. I don't know how many DVDs I got. I got that the rack behind me is completely full. It's 5 rows, the entire length of the couch. So basically, this is the back of the DVD rack here. So it goes from here all the way to here, and it's 5 rows of them. So I don't know. It's a healthy collection, and that's not all of them. Those are just the ones that are likely to be watched at any given time. I have boxes and boxes of them in my bedroom closet that are ones that I don't watch that often, but don't want to get rid of. I did a video a few years ago when I was still in the apartment of my DVD collection. Showed you the movies I had and talked about some of my favorites. Do you have a favorite holiday movie to watch? I have a handful of them that I pull out every year that are just kind of a tradition every year. I watched that one last night, Christmas with the Coronases, because Jordan's in it. It's a good movie. I enjoy it every year I see it. It's a good family oriented movie. Um, and like I said, I watched it last night. I still think Jordan has one of the funniest lines in the movie. Yeah, yeah, that's how most of my viewers came to me is through Jordan. I've gotten a few of my own, but I still think the vast majority of you guys all came to me through Jordan. You like the mac and cheese in the Dutch oven? Yeah, that was actually a really good recipe. I ate that for a few days afterwards. And like I said in the video, that I didn't see anything specifically that had to be done in a Dutch oven. That could just as easily be done in just any large pot. It was a recipe that was specifically designed for Dutch ovens, but you know, Jingle All the Way was filmed in Minnesota. That doesn't surprise me. Seemed to me one time I was there, they were filming another movie in Minnesota when I was there at one point. It was called Angels in the Outfield, and that was filmed in around the Twin Cities area. I think it was filmed in and around. I guess there were some scenes. It was probably in a place called Como Park. My grandparents were always into that, so we went there a lot. I am drinking more water now, so I usually have 2 glasses of water for the live stream. So we're at the halfway mark, and I just finished 1 glass, so gonna move on to the second glass. That's this one here, ready to go. I like Phil Hartman. He was a great actor. Terrible how he died. Hi, I'm Troy McClure. Was I a fan of the news radio TV show? No, I don't think I ever saw it. I wasn't so much into comedies as other kinds of TV shows. I guess there were a few comedies I liked, but Bite and Nibble going to get a Christmas present? I don't know, probably. We'll probably get them something. They're so hard to shop for, though, because basically all they want to do is sleep and eat. Gold plated litter scoop. For the cat who has everything. Please don't get them food. Yeah, right. That's the last thing they need. We're going to get them liposuction. This is what happens. We don't have Rhonda here. Nobody to keep the conversation going. The upside of having a live stream with only a few dozen people is that everybody gets to get their chance to hear their commented on. But the downside is that if periodically you get big lulls of nothing happening because everyone runs out of things to say. Definitely need Rhonda here today. Help me, Rhonda. Yeah, you knew that was coming. It is always good when we get these big lulls right around the 15 minute mark of an episode because that's where I'm going to drop a commercial. After 12, it's time for vodka. I'll drink to that. I've been to Pasadena a bunch of times. Yeah. Pasadena is a cool place. When I was working at the first compact disc factory that we had that I worked at, um, late in the time that I worked there was like a little spin-off company called Myriad Entertainment that I was selected to be a part of, and they had their office up in Pasadena, so we went up there a bunch of times. It didn't last long. They had an interesting idea for business, but it was for a business model, but it never really panned out. CBD for cats. Yeah, I don't know about that. Get them some catnip. It's a good way to make them exercise, get them all tripped up and running around like lunatics. Then we'll turn all these laser lights here, and that'll blow their mind. Yeah, a lot of the technical parts, I think, of the entertainment industry are in the Pasadena area. You find a lot of recording studios and that kind of stuff in the area. It's good because of its proximity to Hollywood in general, but geared more towards things that don't require a lot of space. Maybe a movie lot, it takes up a lot of room. But yeah, Pasadena was kind of a fun place. Like I said, I've been there a number of times. I think I went to MoCA there once, Museum of Contemporary Art. Did you ever visit the Johnny Carson show? No, but when I was in college, at one point, I was looking at maybe a telecommunications degree, and we went and saw a couple of TV shows filmed. One of them was, oh, what was that one? The one with Kirk Cameron and the family. I don't remember what it was called. I saw a filming of that. And then the teacher wanted to show us two different types of filming styles. So we went and saw, a professionally made TV show, that show, and then Growing Pains. Thank you. That's what it was. We went and saw an episode of Growing Pains be shot, and then like a week later, we went to the filming of the Wally George show. I don't know if you ever saw that, but that was a blast. Somebody's told me that the episode that I was in was is on YouTube somewhere. I'd really love to find that because apparently, a lot of times in the Wally George show, when the audience would start reacting, the camera would pan to the audience and show the audience. And so apparently, I'm on the show a couple times. Pasadena is Southern California. It's a little north of Hollywood. Have you ever been to the Alamo? No, not yet. Someday. I know Jordan went there. I really want to check out the basement of the Alamo. Ham and macaroni salad for New Year's. That sounds good. Yeah, I'm going to be home on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day this year. So, yeah, I'll probably have some, probably just enjoy myself, kick back. Maybe I won't even shoot a vlog those days. Yeah, yeah, that's another thing Pasadena is famous for. That's where the Rose Parade is shot. Apparently, my parents took me to see the Rose Parade when I was like 1 or 2 years old. I remember nothing of it. I remember one year right after Disney opened up Cars Land in California Adventure, there was a Disneyland float in the parade, and the Tow Mater character from the Cars movie, well, actually drove the route. I know the person that drove it. Wish it had been me. That would have been a blast. You heard that the Alamo is haunted? That's possible. Yeah, yeah. Wally George was a lot like Morton Downey Jr. Seems to me Wally George was the father of actress Rebecca De Mornay, but apparently she denied that she didn't want to have any connection to him at all. He was Wally George was a blast, though. That was a fun show to watch. I just totally got caught up in it. And I remember watching Wally George even before I went and saw it filmed. And I guess I've also I was invited backstage on the Jimmy Kimmel show, so I hung out in the green room a couple times while the show was shot. That was courtesy of Jordan because Jordan was friends with the guy who did the opening, did the crowd warm up for the Jimmy Kimmel show, and so Jordan got invited there a bunch of times, and he brought me in a few times. It's like saying the Winchester Mystery House is haunted. That's probably true. Hello, South Carolina. How are you doing, Sue? Thanks for stopping in. People across the street must be having a get together or something. I keep hearing car doors slam, and people walking around out there. It's rainy and cold. Sounds perfect. I wish it was rainy here. It's a little on the chilly side, and we got a bit of a cold front coming in, and maybe going to see some rain tomorrow and Tuesday. So looking forward to that. Got snow in Hamilton. Hamilton. Where's Hamilton? Yeah, I'm looking at my computer right now. It says it's 58 here. Yeah, we had some rain yesterday. It was just a weird little tiny little cell that blew through, but it dropped like three-quarters of an inch of rain in probably 10 minutes. It was right around the time we were getting close to shift change at work last night. And the new shift came in and said, yeah, it's really raining out there right now. It looked like a powerful little storm, but it was just a little tiny cell. It was probably 5 miles long or something like that. The Space Corridor in Houston. Okay. Oh, have I been to the Space Center in Houston? No, but I went to the Space Center in Huntsville, Alabama. I would love to go down to Houston and see all that. That is totally something I would get into. It's in Ontario. Okay. The Earth is already tilted. That's why we have seasons. I think it's going to be a lazy day for you. Yeah, well, I got the live stream to do, and I think I know what I want to do for a vlog today. So, not going to be so lazy for me, I think. Sometimes it's a bit of a challenge to figure out what I'm going to do for a vlog, but they've been coming pretty easy this last couple weeks. I guess it's easy to come up with things to do when you're getting around Christmas. because there's fun little things that are going on, and there's houses to look at. And I did a whole section this year on my little Christmas village, which I got all lit up right now. And we got the Christmas tree up, of course, and that's part of the fun. Get rid of this cable here. I don't need that right now. It keeps falling off the chair and draping across my legs. So what's Bite doing right now? Oh, he's right there. You can barely see him. Just chilling out on the floor there, paying attention to things in case I decide to start dishing out the treats again. Yeah, that end of the house is really dark right now because I got all the lights off so you can see the Christmas tree. That I think is maybe the one thing I'm not that into about this house. This house doesn't have a lot of natural light in it. That's there's not enough windows in this house. That's the only problem I have with this house. Other than that, it's perfect for me. But I put a lot of artificial light in there so I can light this house up pretty well. But you really notice it when you look down that hall, how dark it is, because usually on the live stream, I have this light on and I have the lights in the hall on. But you can see how dark it is down there. Now the camera's not doing justice. It's actually a little brighter in there than it looks, but not much. Frosted glass door would help a lot. Yeah, I like the fact though that I got a big solid oak door, and a glass door just isn't going to offer the type of security that I'm looking for. You're right, it would help a lot, but then I'd feel like the need to put like a security door in front of it, and that would ruin the look of the house. Yeah, and I'd have a blast going to the Space Center in Houston too. I know how much fun I had visiting the Space Center in Huntsville, Alabama. That's a pretty massive place. That was way before I was vlogging, though. Is it possible to visit the LBJ Ranch? I don't know. I don't know. That sounds like more something that Jordan would be into than I am. He's really into the presidential libraries. Um, I visited several of them with him because we went down to the LBJ Museum one time when he was here, and I used to live like a mile from the Nixon Library in California and visited the Reagan Library up in Simi Valley. So I've been to a few of them, and of course I tried to go visit the George I think it was George H.W. Bush Museum down in College Station. Yeah, George W. Bush interview could happen at some point. I don't know. It's there's no serious planning going on for it, but Jordan kept brought the idea up and said, me living here, I could probably make it happen. So I don't know. It would be an interesting video, considering the fact that we both live here. And Jordan said, just explain who you are and you're a recent immigrant to Texas, and just get to know who he is a little bit. That would be a fun video. Show him a clip of the Allen West. What I'd probably well, this isn't going to be one of those things where you walk up to the front door at George Bush's house and say, knock, knock, knock. Hey, can I do an interview? It would start off with like emails back and forth, and they'd probably end up looking at the stuff to do just to see what kind of stuff I did. And at that point, they'd probably stumble on the Allen West one. Fredericksburg is only 3 hours from Waco. Yeah, there's a lot. I'll tell you that the drive to California I made last spring really kind of made me realize that, I could do different kinds of vlogs. Maybe, take a long weekend, one of my long weekends, spend a day driving someplace. I could go 500 miles in a day, go someplace, then spend a couple days there vlogging it and another day driving back. That would, that's definitely, in the realm of possibility now. And at that point, like a trip to Houston for the Space Center would definitely be within the realm of possibility. Trip to the Alamo would be in the realm of possibility. Maybe even over to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. Like I think I mentioned in the past, I have another potential filming location video that I've thought about. Well, actually, I got two of them kind of bouncing around in the back of my mind here. One of them's in Austin, Texas, which is about 2 hours away, and another one is in Dallas. So that'd be another trip to Dallas. Dallas is where I did the Logan's Run video, and seeing how popular that video became. That one took a year or so, but about a year after it was shot, because it was about a year ago now that I shot that one, and about a month ago, that one just exploded and became really, really popular for about a week or 10 days. And it's still getting some views, but it's kind of tapered off a little bit. But in that short period of time, it went from just another video I did to the second most watched video I've ever made. So that's a cool thing. Or at least the second most watched video on this channel. I've got a couple other YouTube channels, and some of those, I got videos there that have been watched way more than that. I wanted really when I picked. I'll tell you when I decided to move to Texas. Um, Before I moved here, I actually made a trip here about 4 months before that, and stayed in Dallas for a week or so, and just drove to different areas. Basically, I chose the cities I wanted to consider just literally by looking at Google Maps. And I looked at Dallas. I looked at a place on the eastern side of the state called Longview. I looked at Waco. Didn't really consider Austin that much. I didn't really want to be in a big city, and so because I mean I've been kind of in a metropolis, in a metro area for many many years for all my life. So I wanted something that was a little bit more small town, and I drove to Longview, and nothing there really caught my attention. But when I came here to Waco, I just really liked the vibe of the town. And I remember getting really excited the day I was here because, in addition to just looking around to see what was here, I was looking at like housing prices. And I remember I was texting back and forth with my dad and sending him photos of houses and then that were for sale and showing him the price and the specs of the house. And I was getting really excited about that. So at that point, I really liked the vibe of Waco. It had a really cool small town feel, but it was big enough to have everything you wanted. And so at that point, I decided on Waco, and I have not been dissatisfied with that decision in the least. It's funny that trip too was when the original idea to start this vlog came up because I was in the hotel one night, and Jordan was texting back and forth with me, and he started planning the idea in my head that I should vlog my move to Texas, and it wasn't long after that started. Tomorrow you're getting a tooth pulled. That doesn't sound like fun. I don't like getting teeth pulled. It's it's like pulling teeth. I mean, well, of course, it's exactly like pulling teeth. Yeah, I got all sorts of dumb dad jokes. Problem is, I'm not a dad, so I have to unleash them on you. Yeah, exactly. Pulling teeth is way more of a pain in the neck than pulling your leg, which is way more of a pain in the neck than pulling my finger. Yeah, we know where that's going, right? Yeah, we downloaded and installed this app last week on the live stream, and I think I had Charlotte and Logan laughing at this. If you ever wondered, that's 100 plus fart sounds. I mean, you need to have that, right? Oh man, they're making me look at an ad to play the fart sounds here. Oh man, give me a break. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to watch an ad uh, about checking my blood pressure when I'm playing with my fart app. There's a couple of hamburger places I really like. When Jordan was here last time, he asked me, where we should go to a burger place, and I said, well, let's go to Twisted Root Burger, because he'd seen there's a crazy mural on the side of that building, and he'd seen that mural because it's right along the freeway, and so I started telling him, you remember that place that has the mural on the building with like the hamburger UFOs and aliens and stuff like that along the freeway? I said, yeah. And he said, yeah. And I said, that's a burger place. It's pretty good. Do you want to go? And we went there. There's also a place called Double R Burger that I've been to. You can go back and look at that when I vlogged that way, way, way back when I was still living in the apartment. And that was just a little tiny hole in the wall place, but there's some really good burger places in town. I think next time I'm going to go, I'm going to take it. Next time I go, the Jordan comes by, I'm going to bring him to a place that allegedly Elvis ate at, because Elvis was at Fort Hood, which is just up the road, and it wasn't uncommon, I guess, for him to come down here for burgers. I've been to that place a couple times too. That was good burger too. The next time he wanted barbecue, I said, okay, well, we got to go to Hellberg's barbecue, and yeah, he was way into that too. But yeah, I love a good burger. Yeah, that's what I thought. Jordan would really get a kick out of eating at a burger place that Elvis apparently attended, visited. It's just another little hole in the wall place too, but it was a good burger. Been seeing a lot of pictures of Jordan wearing his Santa hat that has Elvis and gold letters on it lately. That guy is just a big Elvis fan. There's no denying that. Had a piece of pizza for dinner last night. That's good. You can't go wrong with pizza. I love pizza. Pizza is probably my favorite thing in the world. All right, another big gap of silence here at a 15-minute mark. So there was probably a commercial. If you're watching this on playback, there was probably a commercial in the last minute. That's where I usually try and put them. My mom's doing good. It's interesting. She didn't actually send me a text last night, you know. Oh, I guess she did. Yesterday was the 10th. Yeah, I guess she did. I guess I just missed it. Just checking in. We're cold, wet, and windy. Didn't go out much today. Raining steady since 6 a.m. this morning. Love the rain, though. Need it so bad. More of the same tomorrow with some thunder and lightning. All right. Oh yeah, my niece is on the verge of graduating from college, so I guess she got her cap and gown today. She'll wait and walk with her classmates in May. Has to do her grad applications now. Hope she goes to Sac State for a master's. Her boyfriend is still around, so that may change. He will be at Arizona for another year. And then she said, yeah, my Christmas presents are on the way. One is really big and the other one is smaller. So there you go. Mom is good. She's just staying in because it's all rainy and cold there. So they've needed that for a while. Let's see. Is it still raining there? I keep forgetting. I can look. I can check in on that. No, it looks like the rain has finished now for a while. Looks like it's turning into snow though a little bit. So as it moves further east, it kind of turns into snow. Yeah, it looks like the rain is done, but it's kind of blowing out of the area, and where it turns from green into white, that's it turning into snow. So it's at least done for a while. Jordan visited the statue of Chef Boyardee. All right, that'll be good for California. California really needs a good ice pack in order to replenish its water supply. But it also needs to have good runoff management. It doesn't have that. So when they get a good rain, all that happens is it just washes out to sea. But the good thing about, my mom lives near Folsom, California, and there's Lake Folsom there, and that's been a drought state for a long time. So, hopefully that'll help bring the water level up. Any monuments or statues in Waco? Well, I mean, I've shown you pretty much the stuff that's here. We've been down to the Doris Miller Monument, which is down along the river a few times. There's those I don't know if you call them monuments or just statues to the cattle trade right along the bridge there. I've been there a few times, bunch of times. We're waiting for that bridge to open up. That should be open up pretty soon now. Looking forward to being able to walk on that again. I haven't been able to be on that bridge for a couple years now, and I miss that. I like walking across that bridge. I haven't done a cemetery vlog in a while either, have I? I think the reason I kind of stopped doing cemetery vlogs is that in those days, YouTube would just, if you did a cemetery vlog, they'd block the content, and not because there was anything wrong in there, but they just thought that it was going to be discussing some tragedy or something like that, and they almost always got blocked. Now, apparently, YouTube has a new policy, and it's been going on for about a year and a half, where you self-grade your own videos, and if they find that you're consistently reporting what's in your videos, then they'll let it go and they'll trust your judgment more. And I guess I've proven to be trustworthy enough that that they basically just take my judgment for it. But so I probably could go do more cemetery vlogs, but you know, haven't done that for a while. I do like walking in old cemeteries, so just looking at the old markers, realizing how long some of those have been there. That was something you didn't really run into a whole lot in California. Old cemeteries, there just aren't a lot of them there. You go to a cemetery and maybe there's somebody from the 40s or 50s or something like that, and that's how long the blocks of cemetery, the tombstones have been there. But you can come here and you can find grave markers from the 1800s, mid 1800s. This place has been around. Waco was founded in 1849, so there's a lot of old cemeteries, and that's kind of a fun thing to do. I think is look at some of those. But like I said, once you've seen them all, you've kind of seen them all. There's all sorts of trails in Cameron Park that I haven't been on yet, but I've been through most of them, and I do want to go back to Mother Neff Park. I did that one where I went down to that cave that the Indians, that the what was the Tonkawa Indians were living in apparently hundreds of years ago, and that was kind of fun. There's a lot more trails over there, and definitely want to go check that out again. You know me, I love going out and hiking around, so it's getting to the point now where the weather is cool enough that it's nice to be out, but not too cold. And I guess, even if it is maybe a little too cold, you can wear a jacket. That's what jackets are for. But there's like two major parks that have trails in them. It's what they call it Shoreline Park now. It used to, I think, be called Woodway Park, and then Cameron Park. And Cameron Park has miles and miles and miles of trails. I love that place. Yeah, those longhorn statues, they're really impressive too. You don't really get an impact looking at the video how massive those things are. Each of those longhorns are probably, 8 or 9 feet tall. They're massive, massive things. And there's like dozens of them. Like I said, you really can't get at those things right now because they're all kind of blocked in by the fences that are going around the construction zone on the suspension bridge. What city or place in California would be best to live for someone who wanted to move there? I'd stay away from the big three cities, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego. Um, my personal taste is I'd find someplace, some small town somewhere, stay away from the big industrial areas. I mean, you got to be able to find, a good job and stuff like that. But, you know, like I said, I'd stay away from those big cities. But, be prepared. You move to California, cost of living is going to be so much higher. You're going to be taxed up the wazoo. My advice is that for someone who wanted to move to California is don't. When I went there last spring, it's like when I entered the state, I felt just like a kind of weird sense of dread. And that sense didn't really leave until I was back safely in Arizona again. It was fun visiting my mom and all that, but I'm just over California. I'm so much happier here. Yeah, my mom and my sister live in the Folsom area. And so, that's a nice place, but it's still going to be cost of living is going to be really, really expensive. Folsom is a nice town, but the cost of houses are outrageous. I mean, let's go on Zillow here and see what a house costs in Folsom here. Folsom, California. All right, let's see what we can find here. It's funny, I can't even find any houses in the area that are up. Okay, move out and filters. What are my filters? Oh, that's why. I was looking at the entire city of Folsom and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't find anything. It's because I got the price range between 100 or 210 and $290,000. You're not going to find a house in Folsom for 290,000. Let's push the top into an even million. Now we'll find, 166 results. There we go. Now we're cooking. Yeah, 429, that's the slowest I've seen. 699, 829, 849, 800, 975. Yeah, no thanks. And that would be a house, on a small plot of land. That's one of the things that got me so excited about this house, because this house was next to nothing, for price wise. And when I saw this, and I actually told the realtor, when I made my offer to the owners and just offered them what they were asking, I said, this might just be the fact I'm coming from California, and this house in this neighborhood on this plat of land would be $1 million+ house, million and a half dollar house in California. And so, it was just a great deal for what I got on it. Yeah, exactly. A million is literally about 4 times what I paid for this. And I mean, love this house. You're watching Chip and Joanna working on the castle. I need to check that out. I also understand that they're doing tours to that place, and I think I'll have to do that and see if they'll let me vlog inside. A mess right now here. Trying to itch my eyes, knock my glasses off, and then start beating on the laptop. That's not cool. That's what happens when you do live video, though. Never know what's going to happen. It would be fun to do a Chip and Joanna interview, but in all the time I've been here, the times I've been to the silos, I've never seen them. So, and my understanding is they don't even live in Waco; they actually live in Crawford. Crawford's like 15 miles from here. I'm not sure where in Crawford though. Maybe next door to George W. Bush. Do a George W. Bush and a Chip and Joanna Gaines video on the same trip. Sun Discovery X. Okay. I don't know. I don't think that's on my. The only subscribing services I have right now is Netflix, and I have Paramount Plus. And I don't know. There's a bunch of other stuff that's included with Paramount Plus, but I don't think Discovery is one of them. I don't want to just go out and buy a whole bunch of subscription services. I don't watch enough of that stuff to to make it worthwhile. I'm enough of a Star Trek nerd, though. They went out and got the Paramount Plus because all of that's on there. It used to be on Netflix, but they started pulling them off one at a time when they did their own thing. Yeah, I pretty much get all my news from the internet now. Those of you who've been watching for a while realize about a year and a half ago, I cut the cable. I didn't really cut the cable because I still use the cable for my internet, but I brought back my TV receiver and all that, and just not interested in that anymore. I wasn't watching it, and so it was stupid to be paying for it. I think I'd had the TV on twice since I moved into the place, and one of those was me turning it on to make sure the cable was working. So yeah, whatever. I don't miss it. There's no time since then where I've said to myself, "Gee, I really wish I had I had TV right now." Orly only watches YouTube. There you go. And we appreciate that. We appreciate you for that.
Meow.
Bite's looking out the window. Jeez, just last weekend, I raked all the leaves off of the front lawn that are coming off the pecan trees, and it's just caked thick with leaves again. I noticed I got three massive pecan trees in the front yard, and it's weird. Two of them completely dropped their leaves, and the third one still has leaves. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe that's what's going on. Is that third tree now is finally dumping its leaves? You have YouTube TV, okay? I can make a pecan pie. That's true. That would be good. Except I don't really collect any of my pecans. I'd be crazy. I have three pecan trees in the front yard, but I'd have to go and buy pecans. Yeah, Jordan has his videos. He wants his videos to keep evolving, and so he does different things. And right now, he's in the kind of traveling to different places in the country that have interesting things, or where interesting people grew up, or something interesting happened. And that's what he's into right now. So for a while it was the old Hollywood stuff, and then he moved away from that and started traveling internationally and did a lot of great vlogs. That and now he's kind of settled into this. He's just kind of trying to keep it interesting, and so that's I think part of what makes his videos and his channel so successful. And I agree with you with Adam the Woo and his Disney stuff. There's people that are just too much into Disney, and I am not one of them. Disney doesn't really do it for me. I guess just having peeled back the curtain and seen the man behind the curtain, one too many times. It's like, been there, done that. And the truth is, I never really saw Disney as a magical place, even before I worked there. I always knew that there was some trick that they were pulling to do that, and I was always the person, even when I was a kid, that was trying to figure out how they did some of that stuff. I remember watching parades, and I was thinking to myself, okay, where's the driver in there? Or going through the haunted mansion, and there's that big ballroom scene where the ghosts are flying all over the place in there, and I think, how do they do that? And it's like, oh yeah, there's like a mirror there, and you can see how they did that. But there's just some people who are just way into that and will consume all the Disney stuff. And I think Adam is one of those and really enjoys doing that. So whatever. Oh yeah, that's long gone. The trip to the doctors had that out of the way in a couple days. All done. It wasn't a lot of fun, and I was hoping it'd be one of those things that would just heal up on its own, but it seemed to be getting worse. And so I said, you know what, we're going to the doctor about this. I'm 100% again. So anyway, I've hit my 2 hour mark, so I think I'm going to pull the plug on this one, mainly because I'm really kind of excited about starting what I want to vlog today. Because I started thinking about it last night, and I said I'm going to do this, and I almost really wanted to cancel the live stream today so I could start on that. So I did that, and did the live stream. So we're gonna start off, get going on today's vlog. So I'm gonna pull the plug on this one. Thanks for watching, everyone. I had a great time today. Good night.